and welcome to this new webinar here where we will be talking about kindness and compassion. And we called it the new cool because usually what type of things are cool? Things that are not mainstream, right? So usually the cool crowd, the teenagers, they're attracted to things that only some people are doing. Not everybody's doing it. Yeah, they want to be different. They want to express themselves in a different way. And so, unfortunately, over the last few decades, kindness and compassion have not been very common anymore. These qualities are not being promoted as something that is essential, right? And so because of this, people become more and more callous, hard-hearted, self-centered, basically, to the point where it's very rare. It's just like, oh, wow, somebody did something nice for somebody else. How cool. It used to be common. Everybody used to do it. But now it's becoming more and more rare, unfortunately, yes. So throughout history, there was always an understanding that being kind and compassionate were good qualities to have. So anyways, before we go any deeper here and explore the topic, let's start with our Gauranga deep breathing meditation, and hopefully the sound is okay. If somebody in YouTube and Twitch could just let us know, thumbs up, that our sound is good. Okay, great, thank you so much. This is really nice when you're actually able to share our streams, our programs with your friends and family, because so many people right now are in distress. They need some direction, some purpose, some help, some hope. And this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to pass on this ancient wisdom. This is not my opinion. I'm not that creative. I'm not, coming up with different stuff every week. I'm not a science fiction writer or anything like that. No, actually, these truths, they come from ancient history, and they have been proven to be true over such a long period of time. Whereas some other truth in this world, you see, things change, right? Things change in this world. What was true 40 years ago, 50 years ago is no longer considered true. But when it comes to this ancient wisdom, it's actually different. It doesn't change over time. So now get into a relaxed position, please. You can close your eyes if you like, but try not to fall asleep. We've all had many things to do already today, so our minds might be a little bit agitated, tired, stressed out, maybe worrying about something that we need to do tomorrow. And when we are actually breathing in a more deeper way, this has a very profound, relaxing effect on the physiological, on the physical body. It really can slow down the heart rate too. So if we are stressed out, even after exercising. So we will be inhaling deeper than usual through your nose, then you hold it for a few seconds, and then you can exhale through the mouth. And now we will be adding the mantra Gauranga to our deep breathing. This mantra will soothe our restless mind. A bona fide mantra is actually a spiritual sound vibration not coming from this world, but it actually comes from the transcendental realm. Because of this, it is full of purifying potencies. So as we inhale, we can say it mentally to our mind, and then as we exhale, we will say it out loud. So let's try this together. Gauranga. 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 One more. Gauranga. So you will already experience that your body is more relaxed, your mind is more calm. You can do this any time of the day, but especially the mornings and the evenings are very nice times of the day to practice this Gauranga deep breathing meditation. So now let's have some more music meditation using the same mantra, Gauranga. Okay, let's have a few moments of silent and introspection right now. It's actually of an extreme importance that we regularly find time and make time to actually have that personal time, time of introspection, looking for some insights. Because if we are always bombarded with information 24/7, not only is the mind going to be feeling overwhelmed, tired, disturbed perhaps, depending on what type of information it is, but this busy mindedness basically prevents us from actually being more in touch with who we really are and to be actually able to access this these insights. So let us now consider why it is so important, actually, for us individually, our friends and family, everybody, the whole society, the whole world, actually, to cultivate these qualities of kindness and compassion. So we're having a question here. Why is it that so few people are compassionate these days? Well, this is actually a really, really good question, because it's part of our eternal spiritual nature to be compassionate, right? To have sympathy, care for others, not be apathetic. And so it's actually really interesting because starting in the 1960s and 70s, societies, especially in the Western countries, they were embracing new ideas, such as looking out for number one. Basically, who is this number one? Oh, of course, it's me. I'm the most important person in my existence, right? I'm the center of everything, more or less, right? So whatever I want, this basically is so important to me, and I must do whatever it takes to get it, even if it harms other people in the process. Yeah. So as a result of this type of attitude, people in general, they became more self-centered, a little bit more hard-hearted. And automatically, what comes with that? People will become less kind, less compassionate, right? If somebody told you today, yeah, actually, there is a way for you to become a millionaire in the next 2 years. You have to do these 5 things. And as a result of that, 1,000 people more in the world will be having hardships, difficulties. Their lives will get worse. So what are we going to say? How are we going to react? What will be our decision, right? So a person who is soft-hearted, compassionate, and kind, they will say, no, I'm sorry, I cannot do that. The price is too high. Yeah, but if somebody is so, into themselves, into their goals, I must do whatever it takes to get there. It's okay. I will do whatever it takes, even if it means that others might not have enough. Yeah, because there's this famous saying by Buddha, yeah, where he said, no, not Buddha, I'm sorry, Gandhi. There is enough for everyone's need, but there's not enough for everyone's greed. So being compassionate really means that one is unable to tolerate the suffering of my life and ignore the suffering of someone else because I care about them. I don't just care about myself and maybe my family and a few friends, and that's it. Nobody else, I couldn't care less, what happens to them, right? So the person who is actually feeling compassionate and kind, they will feel like I need to do something to try to help somebody else. Yeah, and so we see this a lot in the Western countries, in the big cities. There's always lots of homeless people usually, and they're always begging. And so it can be debated what is the best way to actually help them. Yeah, some people feel like the best thing to do is just to try to give them a job, give them an opportunity to honestly earn some money, so then they can do whatever they want with the money that they earned, right? Give them opportunities to try to be integrated back into the society. And you will find out very quickly, some of them actually don't want it. They kind of like just maybe they're doing well, just receiving donations or gifts, and so anyways, so some people, they like to give, maybe some money or some food to homeless people to help them, and this is really, really nice as well. So, but sometimes if a homeless person, for example, is a drug addict and we give them money and then they end up buying drugs with us, and we haven't really helped them, have we? So we have to also use our wisdom. We cannot just be emotional and compassionate and not use intelligence. So this is important. So, and we also need to appreciate and understand that ultimately, in the truest sense, no one is actually really a bad person. You know, we see a lot of people, they're doing things that are really wrong and some things are really bad, but it doesn't mean that this person inherently or eternally will always be a bad person. They just maybe, you know, had bad influence, get in a really bad situation somehow. Maybe they just are not aware of how they're being affected by certain things, and they just made one bad choice after another, and things keep getting worse and worse. But ultimately, what is motivating everybody on this human journey? What are we looking for? We're looking for inner happiness, lasting happiness, right? Joy, real love. Not just passing sensual experiences. I mean, they can be really nice and exciting and so forth, you know, but they don't last. And ultimately, they don't fill up our heart with what we truly need. Yeah. So people are looking for this happiness in so many different ways. Yeah. So for example, some people, they're focusing all of their attention on the temporary material world that we are currently in, right? And everything is always changing. And so sometimes people actually become really what is called successful, right? They get so many things. They can do anything they want, more or less. And if you ask them, have you become happy? Have you become peaceful? Then usually the answer is no. Many of them will take drugs. Some will end up committing suicide because they thought what would make them happy didn't make them happy, and they don't know what else to look for, actually. Yeah. But a person who is a little bit spiritually inclined, they're looking for a greater purpose. It's not just all for themselves. They are having a different type of worldview where they're actually trying to find some happiness in connection with loving others, pleasing others, selfless service. You know, such a person cannot walk past somebody else who's in great distress, who's compassion. So basically, everybody's looking for happiness. Yeah, nobody is really a bad person. But when a person is actually engaging in kind activities to others, they will automatically experience more happiness in their lives as a result of this. This happens automatically because the Supreme is pleased when we are treating others nicely and not cruelly, right? So it's very simple. Like if you're a father and you have 3 children maybe, and one of them is always hurting the other 2, then are you pleased with that child who's hurting the others? Not really. You still love them. You're trying to help them. You're trying to teach them. Yeah, this is not nice. It's not good. You know, you will. You know, if you're treating others like this, then you're actually creating a not so good future for yourself, because you will also be treated in a similar way in the future yourself. Yeah. So basically, people in this world, many of them are really, really struggling. They're having a hard time. Yeah. And so we should be trying to be kind and supportive. Yeah. Not when somebody else is going through a really difficult time, try to put them down. But generally speaking, we can see that the more self-centered that we become, the unhappier we become, the less kind, the less compassionate we will be. This is all connected. It's actually going against our true spiritual nature. Yeah, our spiritual nature is to be loving others unconditionally, is to engage in loving service to the Supreme and his children. So when we are actually in harmony with our eternal spiritual function, then we are in a very healthy and happy condition. And we will automatically be always kind and compassionate to others. So we can see very easily, if we look at ourselves and maybe those around us, even though we don't really want to look at others in a judgmental manner, but we can just observe. We don't have to judge. Yeah, we can be aware of what other people are like without passing judgment. So, but if we start to look at ourselves and we see, wow, am I experiencing great love and compassion and kindness for living beings, for many living beings, not just a few select ones, or not? If I am, oh, that's good. I'm doing quite well. I'm moving in the right direction. But if I have become so self-centered and hard-hearted that it doesn't touch my heart when other people are going through great distress, then I have been moving in the wrong direction. I need to be careful that I don't get worse, because sometimes you end up basically seeing things like criminals. Yeah, they can do almost anything to other living beings, and they have zero remorse. They have zero hesitation sometimes, even. Yeah, like a serial killer or something. So these people didn't start out like that. They were like you and I. They were like regular people at some point. And then some things happened in their lives, and they allowed themselves to be moving towards this darkness. And so compassion is so important. And when we notice that our compassion is not where it should be, then we need to be introspective and look at what we can change in order to change our condition of heart, to change our attitude. And of course, this is not easy, but it is necessary. So we have another question. How can someone be kind even he has no material wealth to share? Oh yeah, that's a very good question, because right now many people don't have much, right? They're struggling to survive. They basically wish somebody else would help them, and they feel they don't have anything that they can share, right? But this is not true. You know, you can help others just by being a well-wisher, by being supportive, kind, caring. Maybe try to share some wisdom. Some of the most wise people don't have any material things. They live very, very simply, and they're actually satisfied with their existence. Like, they don't chase endless material desires, which ultimately just ends up in frustration, right? So we should never underestimate how love is the most powerful force. And if we actually if we have some real love, then wow, this can affect so many people in a positive way. And the way I'm saying real love is because in this world, there's a tendency for love to become perverted or contaminated, where it's all about me. Yeah, it becomes lust, where I just want things. And if I get things that I want, suddenly it means I am in love. But it actually has nothing to do with real love. Real love is when I care about somebody else so much, I want them to be happy. That's when I'm happy. So I'm thinking more about their well-being than my own well-being. So that's the standard. That is love. And lust is when I'm pretty much only thinking about myself, and I'm using others to get what I want. So when we are interested in personal improvement, spiritual growth, then the question how we can become more loving and caring, kind, compassionate persons. Wow, this is such a big topic. But we have to follow a practice. And this practice of mantra meditation is really amazing, because we cannot change our hearts and minds on our own, right? It is virtually impossible. It's like trying to get out of a big ocean, by yourself, right? So even if you're the best swimmer in the world, wow, it will be very difficult, So we have to follow this proven method of mantra meditation. We were practicing this Gauranga meditation earlier. And if you practice this on a regular daily basis, you will feel the effect of this mantra, actually, how it purifies your heart and your mind. It is guaranteed. So somebody else is asking here another question. How can you show kindness and compassion to someone who is being unkind or cruel to you or to others? Yeah, this can be very difficult for many of us, because usually when we're being attacked, or maybe somebody is, harmful to somebody who we really care about, then the normal reaction is, of course, to respond in kind. Yeah, that we're basically also being not friendly and kind to the other person. And sometimes this is necessary, but it can be done with a motive to help others, not to destroy them or make them suffer or something, not out of revenge or something, but rather a person can consider, how can I help this person in their suffering and ignorant condition? Yeah. Like we said before, a person who might be a drug addict, somehow or other they get into this condition, they can't get out by themselves. Yeah. How can we motivate, inspire them that they want to try to change, they want to try to improve their life again? And then, of course, with the help of others, they can get out of that condition. So in regards to compassion, there's also an interesting variant of compassion that sometimes people think is a sign of compassion, but it is actually not, and that is called lamentation. Yeah, so sometimes people really feel that lamentation is the same as compassion, but sorry, that's something that that's the next question, actually. I'm jumping ahead of myself here. So we were talking about how can we consider others when they are suffering themselves. Yeah, they're basically in an ignorant condition, and we see that they are causing harm to others, and this is very, very bad for themselves too. So first we try to protect those who are being harmed. Yeah, that's always the most important thing. And then we will see, so anything I can do, maybe from a distance, I can try to help somebody who doesn't properly relate to others with respect and care. Yeah, they don't have compassion and kindness. And we're thinking, what can we do to help them become aware of the situation, that they're actually treating other people ill, they're harming other living entities, even though it's completely unnecessary. What are they going to get from this? Yeah, nothing but problems. Yeah, so truly kind and compassionate person, they actually doesn't want anything in return from others, right? They're not thinking, oh, if you don't treat me nicely, then I won't be kind and compassionate to you anymore. Yeah, so then I'll get, cruel with you too. I'll get back at you, right? No, actually that's not, because a person who already has this spiritual happiness inside, which is based on real love, they are not looking anymore to be appreciated, liked, loved by others in this world. They're not, in other words, dependent on others in this world. Like if you're kind to me, oh, I'm very happy, I'm kind to you. Oh, what is this? You didn't give me a birthday gift. Oh, I don't want to see you. So we're not, it's all conditional, right? So unfortunately, many of us, that's how for a good part of our lives, probably we have been living. We have all been influenced and conditioned like this, being in this material dimension. That is unfortunately the dominant way of relating to others. But we should remember that this material world is actually just like a temporary stop. It's not our real home. We shouldn't take things so super, super important. Everything is passing. It will come and it will go. So we need to consider what is the most valuable. What do we want to have when it's time to leave this body, when this human journey comes to an end? And we will continue to exist. We are eternal spiritual beings. So do we want to be feeling real, peaceful, inner happiness, compassion, forgiving to others? And we're satisfied, we're content, we're at peace with ourselves. Or are we going to be in a situation of turmoil, chaos, quarrel, confusion, and so many regrets and anger and so forth and so on? Yes, so it's really important that we actually make this goal in this human journey. What do we want to accomplish? And being kind and compassionate, they are very important qualities. They're actually symptoms of a heart that is filled with love for the Supreme and love for others. So as we mentioned earlier, true compassion has to be based on wisdom and knowledge, right? So to try to give a suffering drug addict more drugs so they can temporarily feel high is not going to help them. It's only going to make things worse over time, right? So we must know who others really are and what is best for them eternally. It's great if somebody is starving and you give him some food. Great, very much needed, very good. But then we should also feel just like, so anything we can do to try to help them have a more permanent change, so they don't live from meal to meal, day to day. So any way that we can teach them maybe how to grow their own food, have a little garden or something, like that. So another thing we mentioned a while back here is that lamentation and compassion are not the same things. So sometimes people feel that they're the same. Usually when maybe a person is close to leaving their body, they're on their deathbed, maybe in a hospital, and here comes some visiting relatives or friends, and they're feeling very, very distraught. They're feeling very sad. They don't know what to do, what to say, and then maybe they're just lamenting. But actually, this is not based on wisdom, and it doesn't really help the other person. It's fine to feel sad that this other person might be leaving our presence, but we should think about them. What is best for them in this situation? Can I do something to help them right now? And so then it's completely different. It's no longer about how